My name is Sherricka Tucker. I'm 39 years old. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I've been in Las Vegas for 16 years. The biggest obstacle that I've ever overcome was my drug addiction. Well, it stemmed from just being a lost teenager. You know, when I was young, maybe around 7, I had to start young, taking care of everyone. So I never had time for myself. I never had time to grow up to be a kid. I was always the responsible one, helping. My mom was at work. My grandmother raised us pretty much, but I had to be the one to hold it down. So it started so young, being so out of character of a child and doing the things that a child should do. And it just progressed into that, being a teenager, hanging around people that I shouldn't have been hanging around with and just looking for an escape. So my first experience with drugs was, I started off with marijuana, and it was really peer pressure, you know, not having people around to tell me like that's not the right thing, and just submerging myself in where I felt comfortable, who accepted me. So I started smoking weed at 14, and the first time I ever did a hard drug, I turned 21. And I snorted some speed, and I went so crazy, and I was so angry at myself and at the people that was around me for even allowing me to do it. And it just started from there. My lowest point was moving to Las Vegas and having to live in my grandmother's garage and start from the bottom, just scrape up. Like, I knew it wasn't fun anymore. It was like, what are you doing? And the lowest point, and I love music. Like, music is my thing. You know, I'm a praiser. Music been my thing since I was little. So I had my radio that I've had for maybe since 9th grade. And it was my prized possession. My CDs, that was my thing. Like, I was the DJ. And I took my radio to the pawn shop to pawn it for drugs. And that's when I knew I had to stop. I was running from people. I lived in an apartment building, and some people that used to go to New Beginnings lived upstairs. And when they would come, mind you, I'm a grown woman, and when they would come, I would run and hide. And I wouldn't want them to see me smoking or drinking, or the people that I was around. I felt so ashamed. I didn't know God right then, but I knew He was calling me. He was pulling on me to get it together, because I was literally killing myself. And I knew it was a low point. I stopped for a minute, and then I got pregnant with my blessing, Brooklyn. And then I started back when she was like 3. And I knew then it was something that had to change. I knew that I would die if something didn't change. It was my 30th birthday. Birthday was on a Friday. Went to some club in Town Square, and literally I was high. I snorted meth, high out my mind. And I walked in this club. It's probably like 500 people there. And all I saw was spirits. I saw all these people, and then I seen another person sitting on everybody's shoulders. And it freaked me out, and I ran. And all I kept hearing was, you're going to die if you don't change. So I'm high Saturday night, maybe 2:00 in the morning. I'm like, I got to go to church. If I don't go to church, I'm going to die. I'm high as a kite. So that Sunday I came to church high, because I had nowhere else to go. I had to be where God was. I didn't know why or how. I just needed to be there, because I literally was going to die. Spiritually, physically, mentally, something. Went into the church. My cousin, she, we both were getting high together that night, and she like argued me up and down like, you should never go into the house of God like that. You too messed up to be going to God like that. And in my mind, like, that's, what else do I do? Who do I go to? I can't get right and then go to God. It don't make sense for me. So despite her and all the other feelings and the crazy going in my head, I went anyway. And I'm so grateful to God that I went. That day, we had an altar call and I went. Mother Gibbs, I love you. She tarried with me and got the Holy Ghost that day. God delivered me from drugs that day. And I was saved that day, all in once. And I remember it so vividly. I was crawling on the altar and I was reaching for something. And all I could see was pure white. And I felt like God was there. He put his hand out to me and I didn't want anything else. If I could have died right there with him, I would have been okay. Because he took everything away from me. I'm free. I've not touched a drug in over 10 years. When I tell people my testimony, they don't believe it. I have to like convince people and like bring out receipts to let them know that this really happened to me. And it's nothing but the glory of God. It's nothing but his glory. My life has changed because my daughter is saved. My son is saved. He's working on my family. He's bringing my dad back in my life. My mom is getting right. They're together after 39 years. He's here. He hears my prayers. And it took a long time to realize that. Like what I went through was not just for me. It was for everybody around me. It was for whoever hears this. It's possible. Life ain't easy. Life ain't perfect. You know, it's been 10 years. I've had a lot of ups and downs, but I never had that struggle again. And can't nobody take that from me because it's my testimony. For so long, I didn't think my testimony mattered. For so long, it didn't matter. I felt like it didn't matter. I went through it and I just went through it, but it was for a reason. God did that for me. And he can do it for you. It don't have to be so severe as drugs. It could be anything. It could be anything. Lust, people, poverty, anything. Because I had this much sense and this much faith to come to the house. I am Sherricka Tucker, and I have overcame by the blood of the Lamb and the words of my testimony. And God can do it for you.